Hey mamas, Ayo here. This video is a full practice session for pregnancy symptom relief. So whether you're aching here, or you have a running mind, or whatever's going on for you, there's a little bit of something for everyone in this practice. You may notice that I have a lot of props around. You don't need anything fancy, but if you can grab a couple of pillows or blankets, that might make you more comfortable in modifying the poses for your body. As always, check in with a doctor, make sure you're cleared for practice, and then let's jump on in.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hung out with Ayo, hung out with Ayo, hung out with Ayo, say okay.
We start out today sitting on our mat in a comfortable cross-legged position. And you might notice that I've already taken a block and I put it underneath my sit bones to provide a bit more support for my back and also space for my belly and my baby. If cross-legged doesn't feel good for you right now, you can also sit in a chair. So sitting here, let's rest our hands on our knees and roll our shoulders back, closing our eyes, and just allow ourselves to start connecting to the natural rhythm of our breath. Taking a full deep breath in and releasing a full breath out. And again, breathing deeply in and releasing full exhale. And breathing here for another 4. And breathing 3. Another 2. Now one more full deep breath, and we're still sitting here. If you'd like to set an intention for practice today, you're welcome to do so at this time. Even just the act of sitting and breathing is already really beneficial for our minds and our bodies, just calming any sense of worry and grounding us, bringing us back to this present moment. So as we continue to sit and breathe, we'll just continue with a couple of head and neck rolls in each direction to release any tightness or tension you might be feeling in the area of your neck and shoulders. Full breath in, sit tall, and exhale, release your head forward and over to the left. And inhale, return your head forward and right. And exhale, return your head forward and left. Inhaling forward and right, moving as slowly as feels good for you. And exhale forward and left and all the way around, taking a nice full circle as you breathe. 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath and reversing the direction, releasing the head forward and right. And back and left. For another 2. And breathing 1. Now returning your head back toward the center, we continue with just some gentle wrist rolls. So you can leave your hands resting on your knees or just bend at the elbows, placing your hands in the air. We're just going to start to kind of rotate the fingers away from each other. Breathing here. If you've experienced any swelling of the hands, this is generally a nice relieving movement. For another 2. And 1. And let's reverse that direction now, rotating the wrists, the fingers toward one another as we breathe. Another 3. And breathing 2. And 1. Now releasing your hands back down toward your thighs. If like me, you have a block or a blanket under your sit bone, you can just set it to the side. And we'll continue on our hands and on our knees with cat and cow pose. So our hands are under our shoulders, our knees are under our hips. As we inhale, we begin to open through the chest. And as we exhale, we round and contract into the chest. And continuing this movement here with your breath, every time you inhale, you can open. And every time you exhale, you can round and contract. And this tends to be very soothing for any low back achiness. Also, the opening of the chest is really a sweet way to create space. If anyone's been experiencing kind of a sense of constriction as baby grows. And even for hemorrhoid relief, cat-cow, it's an all-around solid pose, kind of like a super pose, lots of benefits. Let's take one more full deep breath, opening to cow and rounding to cat. And now with your next breath, you can begin to widen your knees, bringing your knees to either side of the mat on the inhale. And on the exhale, just slide your hands away from your hips, lowering your chest, releasing the head and neck as you breathe here. In addition to being a wonderful shoulder opener, puppy pose tends to be really wonderful at just calming the mind, allowing us to ground and to release here as we breathe. For another 3. And breathing. Another 2. Now one more full deep breath here. And walking your hands back underneath your shoulders as you inhale. You can tuck your toes as you exhale. Now we're going to transition to down dog. If you're seeking a pose that has less weight on your hands, you can always take down dog with your hands on a chair or with your hands on a wall. So we're spreading our fingers wide, and as we inhale, let's begin to lengthen our legs. And as we exhale, we ground our heels. We're pressing our hips away from our hands. Now I'm going to widen my stance a bit more to accommodate my tummy and my belly, because I need quite a lot of room at this stage. And breathing here, just building strength and confidence, and also perhaps providing a touch of low back relief and release. For another 3. And breathing 2. Now one more breath here, and whether you're in down dog on the mat, on the wall, on a chair, we're just going to start to wag our tail. That's when we shift our hips side to side. And if you've been experiencing any lower abdominal achiness, this tends to be a really sweet one to start to relieve that. Full deep breaths for 3. And breathing 2. Now one more full deep breath. Let's begin to walk our hands back toward our feet as we breathe in. And you can bring each hand to opposite elbow as you breathe out, rounding and releasing. There is that same option of placing hands and elbow on a chair in front of you or on the wall in front of you to create more support. For 3. And breathing 2. One more full breath here. Inhale, lengthen partway forward. Exhale, hands to your thighs. Let's bend the knees deeply to help align our weight vertically. Inhale, stand tall, look up. And exhale, look in front of you, stepping your feet underneath your hips. We continue from here with a couple of power poses, and we'll start out with our warrior 2. So you can step your right foot forward on the mat, and your left foot distances far back. The front right knee is bent, and you may want to bring that front leg all the way up to 90 degrees, or maybe a gentler stance if that feels better for you right now. You can inhale, arms up, and then exhale, press your arms open to shoulder height. We're rolling our shoulders back and down, looking over our front right fingers. And as we breathe in warrior 2, We allow our body to feel powerful, yet our mind to be calm. Our eyes are calmly focused just beyond our right fingertips, and our facial muscles can be soft as we build power and strength, pushing away any fears or anxieties generally are related to the pregnancy. For 3. And breathing 2. One more full breath here. Inhale, let's straighten that front right leg, bringing the right foot in. And exhale, you can turn your left foot out to the side, bending your front left knee, as we take Warrior 2 now on our second side. And just as before, we're gazing over those front left fingers, building strength, building confidence, feeling strong and good in our body. For another 3. And breathing 2. Now one more full deep breath here. Inhale, reach the arms up for just a moment. And then exhale, release the hands down, straightening that front left leg. Let's begin to scooch our feet in toward one another. There we go. And we set up our exalted mountain pose. So we're standing here, our feet are a touch wider than hips distance apart, calves and thighs engaged. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, open the arms in a sort of V shape, standing here feeling good. Anyone who's experienced perhaps a little bit of heartburn, this is a wonderful pose. Anything that opens the chest and creates space and elongation is going to feel really good. Breathing 3. And breathing here for another 2. Now one more full deep breath in, and exhale, you can bring one hand to heart and one hand to tummy. Close your eyes and release your head forward. And we're just taking a few breaths here, feeling the beating of your heart and the rhythm of your breath, maybe also feeling the movements of your baby. And this is a very sweet place where we're gifted reassurance, remembering that we're here, we are alive, we're the recipients of this moment, this gift in time, as we feel the inner workings of our body and maybe our baby underneath our palms. For 3. And breathing 2. Now one more full deep breath in, and with the exhale, you can release your hands. Now stepping your feet squarely underneath your hips, you may wish to stand near a wall or a chair as we transition just to some gentle ankle rolls, which can often help if you're feeling or experiencing any sort of swelling in the legs or the feet. So maybe stepping near a wall near you. Let's take a full breath in. And with the exhale, you can shift your weight to your left standing foot. And just extending that right foot in front of you, just beginning to make circles in one direction as you stand tall. Breathing here for 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath, and let's reverse the direction. Circling the ankle the second way for 3. And breathing 2. And 1, and release that right leg. You can shake out that left standing leg for just a moment. And then again, maybe using the wall for balance, shift the weight to your right standing foot, extend your left leg, and just calmly with your breath, let that ankle circle. Of course, you can also do this seated in a chair if you're not feeling the balance element today. For another 2. One more full breath here, and reversing the direction for 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath, and releasing that left leg. Let's shake out your right leg. Now we continue. You can face the front of your mat or face the wall. We're just going to elongate the front body for a moment in standing. So with feet about hips distance apart, let's inhale our arms up. This is similar to the exalted mountain we practiced a moment ago, but this time with the exhale, shift your weight toward your left foot. As you inhale, begin to extend your right leg behind you. With your exhale, you can reach fingers up and look up. And breathing here, this is just a wonderful full body elongation, but especially if you've experienced any lower abdominal achiness, this is a really sweet pose to add into your practice. Breathing another 2. And one more full breath in. With the exhale, bring hands to heart center. Inhale, return, right foot in line with the left, roll shoulders back. And exhale, release your hands. Let's take that same pose on the second side. Full breath in, reach the arms up. Exhale, shift the weight to your right foot. Inhale, extend that left leg behind you. And exhale, maybe release the head, lift the gaze as you lengthen through your fingers and breathe for 3. And breathing here for 2. Now one more full deep breath in. With the exhale, palms come together. Inhale, roll shoulders back as you return left foot in line with the right. And exhale, releasing hands. Now just a couple more standing poses. We continue with a wide-legged forward fold. If you would like more support today, you can fold forward toward the wall or fold forward toward the chair. Otherwise, just taking a nice wide stance on your mat. Left foot's left, right foot's right. Inhale, sweep arms and eyes up. And exhale, you can swan dive forward. That's when you hinge from your hips, bringing your chest forward. If you're working with a wall or a chair, rest your hands or elbows on those surfaces. Otherwise, fully releasing forward. Your hands can come to the mat or maybe playing with a block. Rounding the back, releasing the head and neck, maybe shifting the hips side to side as you breathe here. This tends to be a really sweet pose also for low back relief. Breathing 4. And breathing 3. Breathing 2. One more full deep breath here. Inhale, lengthening partway forward. Exhale, bring your hands, perhaps one at a time, to rest on your thighs. Now bending your knees, let your hips sink low. Inhale, stand tall and look up. And exhale, look in front of you, stepping your feet back together underneath your hips. Now we can return to face the front of the mat. We're going to take one grounding vinyasa to some seated poses that again can help us with all sorts of symptom relief. So standing toward the top of your mat, let's just give ourselves a moment, rolling shoulders back and down. Letting palms face forward, eyes closed, setting up the breath, breathing 3. And breathing 2. One more full deep breath here. Inhale, sweep your arms and your eyes up. Look up. And exhale, gather your palms together and fold forward. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands. Now we're going to skip over the Chaturanga today. We're doing a pretty grounding pose and symptom relief-based practice. So inhale, you can step back to your downward dog, pressing hips away from hands. And with your exhale, already lower your knees down to the mat, softening your feet and walking your hands back to your body as we transition toward hero's pose. You can stay just like this, sitting on your heels in hero's pose, or if you'd like more support, take a block or 2 blocks or a blanket or a pillow, really whatever you have. Separate your legs slightly and place whatever support item you have underneath your sit bones. Coming to sit here, resting your palms facing up, shoulders back and down. Just like with cat-cow, with hero's pose, it can do so many things for us. It can provide hemorrhoid relief. It can be a nice chest opener that helps fight fatigue and just kind of help us feel like we've gained a little bit more of that breathing and lung capacity back. And it tends to be just a very calming and centering pose. So we take our time and we breathe here in our hero's pose for another 3. And breathing 2. Now 1 more full deep breath. And of course, any pose we practice, you can stay here longer. There's no rule that says that because I'm moving on to the next pose that you need to. So listen to what's right for you. And when you do feel ready, all we're going to do is kind of shift our weight forward toward our knees and tuck our toes under. So like so. I'm standing up on my knees for a moment. I'm tucking my toes. 1, 2. If you like, you can move your blocks or move your blankets. And then either standing tall here, or if it feels good for you, sitting back down and letting your knees and thighs come together. So breathing here, we're in kind of like a back sitting, kneeling pose. Our toes are tucked under. And if you've been experiencing any foot or calf cramping, then this tends to be a really nice pose just to kind of stretch things out, giving the body a supported flex in the foot. Breathing 3. And breathing 2. 1 more full deep breath here. And we'll take maybe just 1 more kneeling pose in this practice today. Inhale, let's stand all the way up over our knees, shoulders over hips, over knees. And exhale, we soften the feet. And maybe widening the knees just a touch. We're preparing for supported camel. So you can inhale the arms with me up to the ceiling. And with your exhale, let's just open the arms for a moment because it feels good. Just wanted to kind of throw that in. Inhale, reach arms up. And now exhale, bring your hands behind your back, placing the heel of your hand on your low back and your fingers on your glutes. Rolling shoulders back and down as you breathe in, and lifting the gaze as you breathe out. You can stand here for a gentle supported position or transition to supported camel. By pressing your hips forward, letting your shoulders release back, and breathing here. This is also one of those power poses that does a lot for us. But if you've been feeling fatigued in this pregnancy, supported camel tends to be a power pose of feeling energy start to course through your body again. Breathing 3. And breathing 2. These heart openers always remind me of like Care Bears care with the magic powers shooting out of the tummy. Maybe I'm dating myself here. 1 more full deep breath here. Inhale, let's return to an upright position, shoulders aligned over hips and knees. And exhale, let's sit on down. So continuing to a seated position, we'll take just 2 or 3 seated poses in this practice designed for symptom relief. We can start out with 1 leg long and 1 knee bent. So maybe starting out with your right leg long, your left knee bent, and we'll just continue with a seated twist, an open twist. Inhale, sit extra tall, and exhale, you can begin twisting toward that left bent knee. Placing your left hand behind your back and your right hand either on that left knee or in the space between the knee and the leg. Flexing your front right foot if possible, sitting tall as you inhale. Let's deepen the twist as we exhale, looking over our back left shoulder. And breathing here in this open twist, especially if you've experienced any bloating or tummy trouble in this pregnancy, open twists are quite lovely for that. For 3. And breathing 2. Now 1 more breath, and if this is feeling good, please stay here. If you'd like to continue with more of a front body lengthening, you might enjoy Stargazer, placing your left hand underneath your left shoulder and taking this right arm, sweeping it overhead. Watch what's happening. My hips are rising, so my sit bones are no longer on the mat. And that right arm is reaching. Sometimes we call this wild thing. Breathing 3, full body elongation, creating space. And breathing 2. 1 more full breath in. And exhale, sit on down. Let's take that same practice on the second side. So we're going to face forward. You can release your left leg long and bend your right knee, opening it to the side. And inhale, sitting tall, and exhale, open twist now toward your right, with the right hand behind the back and the left fingers on the mat or on your right knee. Front left foot is flexed, sitting tall, looking back over your left shoulder for 3. And breathing 2. 1 more full deep breath here, and either staying here or continuing to Stargazer, wild thing on the second side. Inhale, you can sweep your left arm overhead, pressing sit bones off the mat, reaching, lengthening, breathing. 3. And breathing 2. Now 1 more full deep breath in. And with the exhale, you can sit back down again. Inhale, unwind to face forward, and exhale, our last seated pose in our practice today is butterfly. So you can bend that left knee and bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Now sitting here, depending on how far along in your pregnancy you are, you might want to create more space for your tummy. How would you do that? You could prop up your sit bones and sit just a bit higher, like so. And you could also bring a chair in front of you or a pillow and blanket in front of you. So instead of leaning your tummy onto your legs, you had another surface here to just kind of rest and release on, leaving the body more vertical, resting elbows on a chair, on a blanket, on a bolster, whatever you got around. So breathing here, let's all take a full breath in. And if we haven't released forward yet, on the exhale, releasing forward, rounding the back, releasing the head and neck, full deep breaths, creating a sense of spaciousness and openness in our hips. For 4. And breathing. 3. 4, 2. And breathing 1. Inhale, let's roll back up to seated, and exhale. We're actually going to lay on down on our side, starting a few final reclined poses before our relaxation today. So lengthening our legs, you can start out laying on your left side. And we're just gonna kind of prop ourselves up on our elbow. So the left elbow's on the mat onto the left shoulder, if possible, keeping space between the left shoulder and the left earlobe. And all we're gonna do is start hugging this knee into the chest, your right knee to your chest. And if you feel comfortable, maybe beginning to lengthen that right leg up to the ceiling. This is sometimes called Reclined Boat. You can support behind your right thigh, calf, or even hold the big toe. Breathing here, again, creating a sense of length and of spaciousness. Full deep breaths. This is a nice one also if you're experiencing foot and calf cramping. Also sometimes for hemorrhoid relief. Breathing 3. And breathing 2. Now one more full deep breath in. With the exhale, you can hug that knee into the chest and release the leg down. Sorry, you guys are about to get my backside for a moment. Let's just turn to face the second direction. So now your right elbow's on the mat, creating space between shoulder and earlobe, starting to hug that left knee in and maybe lengthen that left leg up, supporting from the thigh, the calf, maybe the big toe as you breathe here. Breathing another 3. And breathing another 2. Now one more full deep breath. And you can hug that left knee into the chest and release that left leg long, maybe coming up through seated position for just a moment. And we'll take just a couple of poses in our practice. The next one is wallflower. In wallflower, we'll be laying down on our mat, and you can rest your legs on any vertical surface. So on a wall, on a chair. If you're in the second half of your pregnancy, rather than laying flat on your back, you may enjoy just kind of propping the shoulders up with a pillow, with a blanket or a bolster, but we're not going to be there for so long. So I myself am going to be laying on my back today just for a few moments. So breathing here, just easing your way toward this relaxation. If you've been experiencing any swelling in your feet, then wallflower is a really, really sweet pose to take just for release. 1, 2. There we go. In wallflower, we want to bring our sit bones as close as we can toward the wall. We can rest our hands on our tummy. I'm already feeling some pressure between my thighs and my tummy because I'm quite round here, month 9. So I'm going to separate my legs a touch. Oh, and that feels so much better. Now I have enough space for my tummy. There's no inward pressure, but I still have a sense of grounding through my low back, which is quite lovely. And laying here, you can rest your hands on your tummy, letting your eyes closed, and just breathe with me. Full deep breaths for 5. And breathing here for 4. For 3. And breathing for 2. One more full deep breath. Of course, you're welcome to stay here or just to transition to Reclined Butterfly. All that means is that our knees are now apart, our feet are now together. Full deep breaths, maybe continuing to caress your tummy, to bond with your baby, the very real life that is inside you right now. Breathing, releasing any thoughts that don't serve you, releasing any tension in the hips. Just releasing anything that feels good to release. For another 3. And breathing 2. Now one more full deep breath. And if this position feels good for you, especially if you're in the first half of your pregnancy, you can stay here as we transition to breath work and relaxation. For anyone who's seeking more of a classic relaxation pose, or who maybe is after the 20th week, you can gently let your knees tip to one side, bringing yourself back to an upright position, and we'll just set up for relaxation. In relaxation, you lay on the left side of your body. And this is where all those pillows and blankets that maybe you pulled next to your mat will come in handy. So laying here, let's create kind of a cozy little corner, a cozy little space for yourself. It's nice to have a pillow or 2 underneath your head, a blanket or 2 between your knees for added support. And maybe even a blanket underneath your tummy or behind your low back, so that way every part of you can relax. The idea is just, if all of your muscles released, to have the props situated and placed that you would stay in the same exact position supported by those props. So easing your way to lay on your left side, again, maybe positioning the blanket between your knees, resting your head on the pillow, maybe rolling a little bit of a blanket underneath the curvature of your tummy, just to provide that added support. You can close your eyes here and already start to feel your body deeply release. And as we breathe here, we're just going to practice a little bit of lengthening and softening breaths, easing ourselves and guiding ourselves into a calmer and more secure place. So with your eyes closed and laying here, let's inhale 3, 2, 1. And then exhale 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhaling 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue laying here and breathing here at your natural pace. And allow your body to continue to soften and release on your mat. Secure in the knowledge that all is well. You are well. Your baby is well. And your body is well, nurturing this life inside of you. Continue to lay and breathe here for the next few moments, or as long as feels good for you. We'll give ourselves at least 1 full minute just to lay and be, feeling the breath move through us. Now, if you would like more time here, please feel welcome to stay here exactly as you are. Take as much time as you can as feels good for relaxation. If you are ready to bring this practice toward a close, you can begin to deepen your breath And allow each deep breath to gently bring movement into your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking an active yawn, a full breath in. On the exhale. And then if and when you feel ready, planting one hand at a time on the mat and starting to gently ease yourself back to a seated position where we started this practice today. And with your hands resting on your knees or together at heart center, we can inhale sitting extra tall, feeling that sense of space, of length in the torso. And exhale, rolling your shoulders back and down, releasing head slightly forward. And we close as one with 3 full deep breaths together. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. One more full deep breath here. With hands resting on knees at heart center or over heart and over baby. We just take a quiet moment here in gratitude. Grateful for our ability to carry life, which is not a given. Grateful for our ability to be here alive, breathing, and feeling what we feel. And maybe grateful for this sweet little yoga practice and our ability to bring ease and relief to the various symptoms that we experience. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you mamas. I wish for you, I bless you with so much health and ease and goodness on your pregnancy journey, and look forward to hearing from you when, God willing, your little ones arrive. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.